To our Allen Park High School Athletic Department update, Mr. Jimmy Victor.
Good evening, Superintendent Darga, President Moore, and members of the board and community members. Thanks for letting me have a few minutes to share kind of all the amazing things that our student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs accomplished this school year. To us, athletics at Allen Park is much more than the wins and losses. We strive to build character, leadership, resilience, and community pride. Our teams not only compete at a high level, but they represented the district with integrity, sportsmanship, and pride this year, and I couldn't be more proud of each and every one. They've been fantastic. Just to give you a little idea of participation in program growth, of our just about 1,110 students, 571 of them are student athletes, so a little over 51% of our student population. 161 of those are two-sport athletes, and we have 43 three-sport athletes this year. So continue to push that to get them involved as much as we possibly can. We had some new programs that expanded a little bit. We continue to build our esports program, working in conjunction now with the middle school to really build a pipeline, if you will, for our esports. It's been really, really well received. We're excited to continue to watch that grow. For the first time since COVID, before COVID, we were able to have enough to run both the JV boys and girls soccer team. The numbers have been going way up. It's really helped both programs build. It's been a lot of fun watching them compete. And then for the first time this year, we added a club sport, which is our women's flag football team, which was just phenomenal. The staff, the girls just did an amazing, amazing job. And we're going to continue to build, see what that might look like in the fall. Coach Johnson and the girls just did an awesome, awesome job. So I'm really, really proud and happy for them. Overall, a hugely successful year. Of our 27 athletic programs, 5 of our teams won the Downriver League title this year. For the first time since 1996-97, this was the first year that our boys and girls swim and dive team won the league title in the same year, which was really, really cool.
Yeah, very good.
Our boys basketball team won the league title as well for the first time since I believe it was 2002. Competitive cheer keeps rolling with another district title, or league title I should say, and softball also were co-champs this year for the league title. We had 4 district champions. Our volleyball girls basketball won their first district title since 2018, an amazing run at the end of the year. It was so fun to watch them compete. Competitive cheer won a district title, and our softball girls won their 19th consecutive district championship.
Wow.
Just impressive run for that program. And then our competitive cheer team won regionals and again state champions.
Yeah.
So what a job by those girls. A few notable kind of team or first time accomplishments, just some record breakers this year. I want to congratulate Cole Paquette on breaking the school record in the 50 freestyle and finishing 5th in the state meet in the 53. Weston Glide broke the 110-meter hurdle record that he broke earlier in the year. He broke it again at the state meet, running a 14.99, and he tied the high jump record as well at 6 feet 5 inches, which was awesome. Karina Eastlick broke the 200-meter record. And her relay partners, Karina, Claire Berry, Darren Bailey, and Reese Hastings also broke the 4x200-meter relay record this year. So track and field did an amazing, amazing job. Alt Weston and Grace Pauley in the shot put also qualified for the state meet. Shout out to our bowling teams, especially our sophomore John Crane. He just missed out on the state meet this year, but in the regionals bowled a 299.
Oh, wow.
The man was on fire. He was absolutely great. They've done a really, really nice job. And last but not least, Kylie Carr, who's off to play at U of M Ann Arbor next year. She now holds the Allen Park career softball record in 5 categories.
Oh my gosh.
Overall average, total hits, doubles, triples, and runs scored.
Wow.
So, amazing career by Kylie.
Wow, that's great.
Great job. Over the course of our 3 seasons, the fall, winter, and the spring, we had 77 athletes that were named to the All Downriver League team through their various sports. So at the end of the year, coaches, athletic administrators nominate 77 27 of our athletes were named to all elite teams. We have over 20 graduating seniors going on to play sports at the next level. We just can't wait to see what they accomplish at the college level. They're going to do amazing, amazing things. But none of that is possible without their student athletes, so without the academic success. So we really pride ourselves on being students first. We pull eligibility weekly. We monitor that. We partner with our JAG study program through the high school, which runs Monday through Thursdays, where not only athletes, but all of our students can go to get extra mentoring from our teachers. NHS students go in to help with tutoring, and that's really, really helped our athletes with an avenue to stay eligible. So I just want to say thank you to those teachers and those members that volunteer to be a part of that. They do a tremendous job. And with that, through the Downriver League, we have all academic honors. We don't include freshmen because they're just getting started, but our sophomores, juniors, and seniors, this is across the board, the Downriver League. And 45% of our student athletes were recognized as all league academic honors, which is holding a GPA of 3.3 or higher for the entire season, or year, I should say. You know, the balance of athletics and academics is so important. Our kids do a tremendous job working with our coaching staffs to stay on top of things. Huge shout out to our coaches. Pretty much every single program participated in some type of professional development, whether it be coaches going to clinics or online tutorials, whatever the case is. They're striving to be better every single year. In those programs, they work with younger coaches, and I'm really, really happy with the direction that they're taking in terms of that. They do a really, really great job throughout the year working to get better. And that, along with the strategic plan, working on that community outreach. That's a big thing that we did a good job this year, but pushing into next year and beyond, we need to continue to get out into the community. Our teams do a great job. As many of you know, I see you guys out all the time, and I can't thank you enough for showing support from all of the different teams that we have. It means the world to see how much the community rallies around our teams. But from the teacher appreciation nights, military nights, the awareness games that our coaches and teams are passionate about, to the junior JAGs coming up from the elementary schools to participate in different events, volunteering with various nonprofits, visiting different places in the community, volunteering at the farmers market that's been going on, whatever it is, we are going to continue to get our teams out into the community as much as possible. So just know that it's something that we're definitely striving for, and we will continue to get better at. I want to thank you guys, Mr. Darga, especially for the continued support with the purchase of some new AEDs for the district. With the health and safety, obviously, we all know about the incident that we had this year, and our continuing efforts to make sure that our student athletes are healthy and safe, whether it's at practice, at games, wherever. We pride ourselves on that. Megan Work, our athletic trainer, has done a fantastic job working with our emergency action plans. Her and I meet with every single team. When teams are selected, we do drills, we talk about the emergency action plans, and I just want to say thank you for the support that you guys allow us the opportunity to continue to have those conversations. They're difficult conversations. We can never be ready for everything, but our kids, our coaches, it's important to them. It's important to us, and we're going to continue to build and be better with that. So with the purchase of those new AEDs, it's going to be great that we can have now some more portable ones that our coaches can have on the cross-country runs, out at the baseball and softball field, at the bowling alleys. So it's been great. So thank you for that. We host a lot.
Yeah.
We host a lot, and that's people love coming to our facilities, and we want to continue to do that. And with the skyrocketing officials' fees and tournament costs, we've been really, really fortunate. We ended up we sold some 13,300 tickets this year to our events. And we've hosted some outside of our normal schedules. We've hosted some really, really cool events, and that's coming a lot from our coaching staffs and our programs wanting to get our names out there and showcase who we are and what we can offer. So from the girls swim and dive, hosting the Downriver Classic, the 8th grade volleyball invites, we were the host of one of the sites for boys and girls tennis regionals, volleyball districts. We hosted a football playoff game, the girls league swim meet, the Rumble in the Jungle girls wrestling invite, AP cheer invite, the Bob Lloyd Memorial Wrestling Classic, girls basketball districts, the track and field co-ed relays, where we have 24 schools coming into the district to kick off the track and field season. We hosted the Down River League Meet hockey regionals and quarterfinals. We did an amazing district unified sports day. Thanks to Dr. Sokol and Deke Swearingen. They just put on a great day. All of the unified athletes from around the district came, and it was really, really awesome.
Yeah.
It was our first annual, and that will continue from now on. And then we ended with our baseball and softball district, just to name a few of the things. Like, we can't do that without your support to want to get our Park name out there, and we're really happy to do that. And lastly, I want to personally thank our booster club. Through COVID, it was hard to get volunteers, but our booster club is so important to help our student athletes. And Jody Peacock and Kim Margaret kept it running with concessions through COVID, and then now Sherry Slater, Chris McDonald, Matt Tack, Mike Bodell, sorry about. They've been instrumental in keeping the booster club running, and with our concessions and all these events, the hours that they pour into our student athletes, I wanted to make sure I recognize them, and I can't thank them enough for putting up with me and getting us back to where we need to be. They've been absolutely fantastic. So, moving into next year, we're going to continue to find ways to grow our participation, grow our academic excellence, and compete at the highest levels possible. Thank you for your commitment to athletics, to the administration, coaching staff, and families, and most importantly, our student athletes. We strive to make this community proud, and we will continue to do so year in and year out. So, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
That's it. That's great.
I know, that's good.
Impressive.
Oh,
I
gosh,
know.
it's really something when you really think about it.
Man, now we gotta talk about taxes. Great.
We're here to bring us all down.
All right, before we talk about taxes, Jimmy, you are more than welcome to leave at this time, because now we're gonna talk about taxes. But have a good one. Thank you again. So our new business is our property tax rate certificate, or certification, non-homestead debt rate. Mr. Darga.
The property tax millage rate is used to support the general fund budget. The school debt bond rate of 12 mils will be used for the 2025-2026 school year. The full authorized millage rate of 18 to be levied on non-homestead property in the district for the purpose of maintaining program staff and services.
I move the Allen Park Board of Education adopt the rate certification resolution for the full authorized millage rate of 18 mils levied on non-homestead property in the district for the purpose of maintaining program, staff, and services, and a school debt rate of 12 mils for the 2025-26 school year.
Support. It's been moved by Mike and supported by Laura. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to new business. Item number 2, Chromebook refresh. Mr. Darga.
Thank you. On behalf of the district, Technology Director Dave Mason is requesting approval for a 2-year Chromebook refresh through Viva City Tech totaling $675,712. This is part of our regular refresh cycle for students entering 2nd, 6th, and 9th grades, and would include HP G4 Chromebooks, durable cases, and screen protectors, a 3-year warranty on each device. This package also includes access to training materials the student techs can use to become certified, allowing us to be paid back for the performing repairs in-house. This purchase would also be paid for using bond funds.
I move that the Allen Park Board of Education approve the Chromebook refresh package through Vivacity Tech for an amount of $675,712 to be paid for using bond funds as presented.
Support.
It's been moved by Sarah and supported by Mike. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. That takes us to new business, item number 3, Cooperative Education Agreement for the William D. Ford Career Technical Center, Wayne Westland School District. Mr. Darga.
At this time, we are submitting an annual renewal program agreement with Wayne Westside Community School District for the continuation of vocational education services provided by and through Wayne Westland in accordance with the terms of the Cooperative Education Program Agreement and consistent with the pertinent provisions of the Revised School Code of 1995 and the State School Aid Act as amended.
I move the Allen Park Board of Education approve the Cooperative Education Program Agreement with Wayne Westland Community School District for the 25-26 school year as presented.
Support.
It's been moved by Mike and supported by Steve. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to new business, item number 4, approval of the high school's honors ELA change to AP seminar. Mr. Darga.
Dr. Develski would like the board to consider changing the high school's honors ELA to become AP seminar. This change would align with the other advanced placement classes in the department, AP language and AP literature. The course fits with the current honors ELA 10 curriculum and provides another opportunity to take on AP courses.
I move that the Allen Park Board of Education approve changing high school honors ELA to become AP seminar beginning with the 25-26 school year as presented.
Support.
It's been moved by Mike and supported by Laura. Is there any further discussion?
With Sarah.
Oh, Sarah, I'm so sorry. It's been moved by Mike and supported by Sarah. Is there any further discussion?
What's the major change here, John?
Really, it's just there's some programming notes, like it's mostly nonfiction, and so that'll be a little bit of a change. But it really prepares them to hop into Lit or Lang. You can look at AP Seminar and AP Research. We haven't adopted AP Research yet, or aren't looking at it quite yet. But it's a 2-year program that the College Board put out. And really, you can either have it before AP Lang and AP Lit like they're doing now, and like get the kids into that mode of thinking through a little bit of a different lens, or you can have it at the end after Lang and Lit, and then after they've had all of those experiences, like dive super deep in. And so mostly it is going to be very similar to how they teach honors ELA, but and this is for 10th grade, so it's honors ELA 10. But there is going to be a little bit of a shift in some of the materials that they're using and things. It's pretty cool. I was a pilot school when I was at Crestwood, and we were the second school in the state to have it. And basically the kids have to demonstrate their learning through writing, through speaking. In fact, the AP assessment is kids talking. They have to give a presentation. The teachers score it themselves. So like, as your teacher, Steve, I would score you, but then I have to mail that video. I'm sure it's not mail anymore. That tells you how long ago I was a principal. I would have to send that video to the College Board, and it is validated by a College Board scorer. So it's a really cool opportunity. It's the only one like that, where they actually have that kind of like a performance assessment that's validated by the College Board. So it's pretty cool. It's like, you build the course kind of around a broad concept, and you kind of dive in and attack it in these different ways. I love it. I'm so happy they're doing it. Like, this is what, I think when you all as a board say, like, we want to bring rigor and we want kids to be able to express themselves and like high academic standards, like AP Seminar, AP Research, like that's what we want to do.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, motion carries. That takes us to new business number 5, approval of Big Ideas math renewal. Mr. Darga.
Our math scores have shown constant improvement in the past 3 years, and the K-12 math committee has asked the board to renew Big Ideas Math for grades K-5. Big Ideas Math, modeling real life Common Core. Enhanced student resource package includes 300 student books per grade level, K-5, an integration fee for our new rostering and single sign-up on product, Classic and PD. The cost for the next 3 years would be $158,416.50.
I move that the Allen Park Board of Education approve the renewal of Big Ideas Math for grades K through 5 for 3 years for $158,416.50 as presented.
Support. It's been moved by Sarah and supported by Laura. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, why is it just K through 5? I thought it was in the middle school before.
It is, their contract's not up yet. So we are K-12 Big Ideas Math. That's a wonderful point, Mr. Babbage. We are K-12 Big Ideas Math. It is lovely that the kids like learn it, and it's the same vocabulary and the same language and the same sign-on and everything. And so K-5 is up now. I think we just did 6-8 2 years ago, and then I'm gonna say 9-12 is maybe next year.
don't know if my daughter would be happy I'm renewing this.
And I'll tell you what, Casey, she's happier with this than she would have been with Math and Focus, buddy.
I know, I get to play with it a little bit, that's why I have big ideas.
Yeah, so it's so much better, and like, the moment we changed, it was like, I'm sure we did a lot of wonderful things in the classroom, but the moment we changed the materials, the scores immediately jumped. And then you saw the work that our interventionists and our teachers were doing, like really kind of, then you saw like the standard, this pretty steady increase. It's a very good program, I like it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to new business, item number 6, science curriculum approval. Mr. Darga.
Dr. Tefelsky presented the Science Committee's recommendation for their science curriculum implementation plan for grades K-5. Dr. Tefelsky is here this evening to explain this recommendation in more detail.
Okay, so OpenSciEd is a program that we are using. That might sound familiar. We're also using OpenSciEd at the middle school, and they are using it at the high school as well. They're trying to kind of make their current courses more OpenSci-edy, for lack of a better term, before they bring that for approval. We've tried a bunch of different things since 2017. Like, I went through them today at K-12. It's been like 6 or 7 different programs that we've tried, and finally we have settled on what we think is a pretty good solution to, frankly, our inaction by K-12 and by ICC to really bring forward a cohesive science plan. We've always taught science, but it's just been like, if teachers want to teach about rocks, they kind of have the freedom to do that. There's Nat Geo magazines, there's all of these other things. Mystery Science is a program that our teachers have used here and there, and it has improved greatly over the last 7 or 8 years. It used to be a YouTube video, you push a button, Mystery Doug would come on and he'd say like, apples fall from trees because of gravity, congratulations, let's move on. They have changed that a lot. It's still not where OpenSciEd is, which is why we came to this compromise. We have been going through this field test for a couple of years. OpenSciEd has a ton of information. They are trying to shove 10 pounds of potatoes into a 5-pound bag, and our teachers like smelled that immediately, and they're like, we cannot do this. And so we have taken these OpenSciEd units and made them a little bit more consumable for our teachers and for our staff and for our students, and we're spreading them out a little bit more. And so we are only asking our grades 4 and 5 teachers to do 1 OpenSciEd unit at a minimum. Some teachers are doing more. At Benny Elementary School, they are doing, I think, 3 units. Does that sound right, Mr. Klein? I think they're doing 3 of the 4. Doing all 4 is very, very tough, just because of the depth that they ask you to go into. At Arno, or at Lindemann, I think they're going to try to do 2. I could be wrong on that. Nobody else is here, but I could be wrong on that. But they're going to try to do 2 at Lindemann, and then I think the other schools are going to get through their 1 unit. We're also asking that as new teachers come in, regardless of their grade level, they get trained in OpenSciEd, and they do at least 1 unit of OpenSciEd as well. And so we talked about how Mary McMaster, our K-12 science coach, is going to work with teachers doing mystery to try to continue to evolve it so that it becomes something that where our students are learning that true 3-dimensional science, and then support those teachers that are doing OpenSciEd with materials and with programming and with coaching support. So basically everybody in grades K-3 is going to do mystery science. We're going to have Mary continue to work with them to try to NGSS it up a little bit so that it's a little bit more aligned to some of the things we're doing. As new teachers come in, they are going to supplant 1 unit of mystery science with 1 unit of OpenSciEd. And eventually the idea is we get as many kids going through OpenSciEd as we possibly can. It is a heavy burden on the teachers, there's no doubt about that, it's harder. But the conversation needs to be about what's best for the kids, and we think OpenSciEd is what is best for the kids, and so we're trying to ease the transition on the staff members to the best that we can. Mr. Darga was at ICC today. We had a spirited debate about it. I think it's a good program. I don't think it's perfect. I don't know that we will find a perfect program because we've gone through Phenomenal and the George Lucas one and Aspire Science and Inspire Science and MyStar Science and Nat Geo Science, and we have tried all of them, and like this has been a really good compromise. Last year, they talked about it being too much, so Mary took that feedback and kind of thinned it down a little bit, allowed them to use mystery a little bit, and that came to a pretty good they came to a pretty good compromise as a K-12 science committee, so. I know I gave you a lot, but K-12 approved it, ICC approved it, most teachers are generally pretty happy with it. There's a little bit of, I'm not sure I can do this, I'm not sure we're gonna be able to do this, and that's where it's our job to provide them the support that they need to do this, so. Any questions?
It's approved by ICC?
Approved by ICC today. Unanimous approved by ICC.
Yeah.
It was a 4-4 at K-12, and they kind of went back and forth, and that's where some of the compromise came in, so. And again, if you're familiar with K3, we've talked about it before, but their literacy blocks are very long. They're 120 minutes usually at a minimum. Once you get to grades 4 and 5, it's a little bit less, usually right around 90 minutes. And so they do have a little bit more time in their day. They have a packed day, nobody's going to dispute that. K3, there is time to do it, but again, it's a little bit tighter, so that's why we think that if you're coming in and you're planning fresh and you say like, okay, I know as a new teacher, this is what my expectations are, I think it'll be a little bit more manageable for them, so. Try to be thoughtful, above all.
Do I have a motion?
I move the Allen Park Board of Education approve the science curriculum implementation plan for grades K-5 as presented using Open SciEd and Mystery Science to be paid for out of the curriculum textbook account line item.
Support.
It's been moved by Mike and supported by Jason. Is there any further discussion?
My only question would be the Open SciEd's free open resource. Are they picking up the kids for it? Or
Yeah, we're doing the ECA kids, and then we're gonna try to, so each grade level team is gonna get together and kind of say like, this is the unit that we want, this is kind of how we're gonna go through the unit, and so we're gonna try to build out not only the materials, but then also a binder that teachers can go through, so it's a little bit more standard. It's one of the things that gets lost in open source, right? Like, they add to it, and one teacher got it, but the other two didn't, and so we're gonna try to standardize that a little bit, hopefully. Somebody else is, I'm just kidding.
Any further
I got one more
discussion?
meeting in it, don't worry about it, Sarah, get used to it.
Any further discussion?
Can you bring up the presentation?
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Just presentation.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, motion carries. We're all gonna come to your first board meeting and.
That's right, we're gonna be in that audience.
There
You
you
guys are
go.
coming out there.
The next new business is just a discussion. The next new business is just a discussion, so I do not need a motion. But our next new business is discussion of the high school philosophy elective pilot, Dr. Jolkowski.
So that is just an FYI, Dan Lloyd got this idea and went to Amy West and has agreed to take on significantly more work for himself and create another prep for himself because he really wants to teach philosophy. They kind of nibble around the edges of it in a handful of other courses, but he wants to dedicate it to just philosophy. So it's going to be 2 sections. It's only 1 semester. He'll have 1 section in the fall, 1 section in the winter, and they're going to talk mostly about philosophy and less about philosophers, but like, kind of the genre will lead into like, and that is what this guy thought, so. So that's it, just an FYI, he's gonna run a pilot. We asked that they run a couple of years of pilots because like, right now Dan's really excited. He just taught this group of sophomores that are really excited. What if the next group of sophomores aren't excited? And so rather than changing our programming and doing all those things, we asked for some sustainability before we bring it to a vote with you all.
I'm not surprised Dan Lloyd is doing it.
Right.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed 100%.
I had philosophy in college. I took it instead of taking a foreign language because I thought it would be easier.
No.
Oh, that was.
I wish I would have taken the foreign language.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mhm.
So yeah, Dan's gonna crush it. But, I mean, I think he's crazy, but he's gonna crush it.
Listen, my kid passed him next year for A-Push. You're scaring me right now. Just kidding. By the way, I know he'll be amazing. All right, so the next one is item number, 12 even, I think it.
Jumped 5
It's
spots.
13, actually. But presentation of financial information by, well, I'll go to Mr. Darga first, but by Mrs. Key.
Ms. Cindy Keith is here this evening to provide information regarding the 2025-2026 proposed budget. Following the presentation, board members will have an opportunity to ask questions or provide feedback. The public hearing for the proposed budget will be held on June 23rd along with the budget adoption. Ms. Keith.
Okay, good evening, everybody. This is the original budget proposal for the general fund only for fiscal year 25-26. Starting out, the fiscal year 25-26 funding is based on the student count of 3,700. I included these two graphs just so we can see a trend of where our student population has been. So the top graph that I just enlarged, you can see the fiscal years on the bottom and then the student count on the left-hand side. So since after COVID, 2022, we've kind of been riding that 3,700 line, so we've been pretty consistent for the last 3 or 4 years. But you can kind of see like some dips that we've had in, you know, the past, and then we kind of have gone back up. So the fiscal year 2020, I think, was our highest at 38. So it would be nice if we could get back up to that 3,800 mark, where we were pretty steady a few years back. And then the bottom graph just shows those same fiscal years, but how our FTE has gone up. So you can see us like, can you see that? I'm sorry. Do you need me to do that?
no.
Okay. Because I know it's an awkward angle, so I'm trying to enlarge, but if you guys can't see anything, just let me know. So I wanted to put another graph on here so you could see kind of just the trend that we're having with our foundation allowance. We touched on this a little bit earlier in the work session, but the FY24 and FY25 year have the same per pupil foundation allowance. So what the state did with FY25 this year is we did not get a per pupil increase, but instead we got a one-time funding through 147 mixers, which was due to the a part of the mixers fund being fully funded. So they did that, you know, that was a strategy that they had, because now they're back at the table and they're trying to negotiate what our FTE is going to be this year. So instead of starting at somewhere in the 10,000s, they're starting off 9608. So I thought this information was helpful when you're looking at the, you know, the big picture of what next year's going to look like. Okay, this slide is estimated revenue budget assumptions, which is just that. These are assumptions. We have 3 proposals on the table. The only proposal that is full or a complete proposal is the governor's, and hers has been out there since February. So I'll just go through. The first one is the House. The foundation allowance increase is talking of going up to $417 per pupil, which would be a total of $10,025. Total estimated district impact is $1.5 million. There is not a full proposal, and what I mean by a full proposal is each one of these proposals have what they're going to have for a foundation allowance, and then they also talk about what they're going to invest in, what they think is important in education next year. A full proposal from any of these sectors would include a district-to-district impact, and we don't have those yet. So the only proposal that we have an estimated total district impact is the governor's. So that's what that means. The governor's proposal is an increase of $392 per pupil, which would be a new foundation allowance of $10,000 even. And then the Senate's proposal is a foundation allowance increase of $400 per pupil, which would be a new foundation allowance of $10,008. So the House and the Senate are pretty close in district impact, 1.5 million, 1.4 million, and the governor's proposal, which again is a full district impact proposal, is 1.8 million. And then federal grants I have as consistent amounts with FY25 this year. I don't have any preliminary amounts for IDEA and titles. We have 3 title grants. We have technically 3 IDEA grants.
1, 2, 3. We get 3 now, remember?
No.
And then Title 4. So 4 title grants.
Okay. 4 title grants.
Sorry, I just wanted, you know.
We're gonna miss you, John.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, I'm sure Tiff's gonna miss me. She's
So
like,
the amount of grants.
she's like, that was so, I mean, not even correct. I'm sorry, Tiff, go ahead.
So
3 title grants.
the federal grants are flat with FY25. And those are matching funds, so whatever is in the budget for revenue, those are offset by a 1-to-1 for expenditures.
We also don't anticipate too much of a cut to Titles 1 or 4. Those should be about the same. But Title 2, which is professional development, which we pay instructional coaches, and Title 3, which is English learners, like those are both on the table, and so we have no idea.
Title 3 is like 15 grand.
Yeah, Title 3 is like $15,000. Title 2 is, was it 60 last year?
69.
Yeah,
70.
something like that. So like, it's not great, but we'll live. And that's if they cut the entire thing. Like, I feel like we all think they're gonna have a hard time like cutting everything to zero, so.
Yeah, I mean, so far, the only thing that they've cut out of federal grants is anything that was related to COVID. So that the HRA grant with the health resource advocate, that was cut early. So we got to spend about half of that, maybe 60%. And that was a follow-up to any COVID relief or COVID funding that districts had to bring in, any type of nurse or related, staffing for that. And then last, local property tax, which we just talked about, is expected to increase 3.8%, which is about 78 grand from this fiscal year due to the increase in property values. Again, we remain levying 18 mills on non-homestead properties. And then estimated expenditures, these are more factual than assumptions, but some are assumptions. Salaries are increasing for all staff according to steps for all groups. This budget includes staff replacements due to all retirements and resignations. This budget includes hard cap increase for calendar year 2026, which is we're hard capped, so that increase is 2.9%. But it's not the full school year, it's the calendar year, so we won't see those increases until January of 2026, and then those will go from January to June of 26. ORS has updated their rates, that's the Office of Retirement Services, so their fiscal year aligns with the state's fiscal year, which is October through September. So the defined benefit rate for ORS next year is 29.91%. The UAL is now 15.02%. For budgeting purposes, I rounded up to 45%. And then again, touching on the grants, for titles and IDA, the expenditures match the anticipated or projected revenue amounts, which are the same as they are right now. And then this is the original budget summary for general fund only. This is just a comparison, which I'll make this bigger so everybody can see it, because it's very small. So for revenue, if you just look at the revenue portion of this, audit is the very first column, or the gray column, because that is our true fund balance, and those are our true expenses until we have our audit for this year. Just going column by column, so you see the House proposed budget at the 417 per pupil increase, and then the governor, which I have boxed out, which is going to be my recommendation only because she is the only full proposal, and that has been out there the longest. Typically, I go with the one that's the most conservative, but given the lack of proposals for the other two, House and Senate, I'm going with the governors this year. So House, Governor, Senate, so you can see the difference in the total revenue. The recommendation is the governor's proposed, which would be 52.6 million in revenue. And then our expenditures are consistent across the board for each of the proposals at 53.5 million, which would take our fund balance from 9.1 million to 8.3 million, or 15.76% of fund equity. If we needed to use our enhancement, we have 4.3 million from last year's audit, so if we had to, include this in the budget, that would be about 24% of the fund balance. And that's all I have.
You wanna go over my questions?
We can.
I asked Tiffany a couple questions during the break. So the question I asked, if you look at the state sources for revenue, and you see the 392 per pupil in the governor's proposal of 46 million, but in the other House and Senate, the per pupil is higher.
Yep.
So I asked why was the state revenue higher, and Tiffany just explained it.
Yeah.
That the governor's includes additional revenue that they know about. The other two they don't have that revenue in there at that point. So the other twos could potentially go higher.
So we get this tiny, tiny sheet. This is the district impact. So it lists every school district in the state of Michigan. And so when they have proposals, they tell you, what you can expect for your district. Because it's not just what their per pupil is. They also talk about other sections or categoricals that they're investing in. So when they say they're investing 45 million in 31A, we don't know what that means for us until they do the formula or they compute it or whatever. So the governor's is the only one that we have how much she's going to invest in Allen Park, I guess you could say. So even though the per pupil is the lower of the two, the revenue is the highest because I can see that she's gonna invest in, you know, enrollment and this new category, which is best practices. I don't know what that actually means, you know, what we can spend it on. But it just, you know, it's the idea of what the money will look like for next year.
And that happens a lot when
And
your
it
per
happens
pupil
all the
is high.
time.
When your per pupil is high, it's like, we'll give you more money, but then we're gonna got 31A, and it's like, well, we got 2 million in that. So
Yeah.
if you give us an extra $20 a kid, but take 2 million away, the math doesn't math on that one. So
Yeah.
The other question I had was the pupil support. If you look at 23-24, it's at 4.3 million, and right now we're at 4.1, so it's a drop of 200,000 roughly. And that's your social workers, right, and counselors and.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
Yeah, there's a ton
ancillary
in there.
staff, a lot of the
And then-
31A is charged there. And again, you know, we did talk about this briefly, during break, but, you know, I have audit here, and I think sometimes it might be confusing if I put in a projection for the current fiscal year, because again, this is audit for last fiscal year. Projections are they're just that, they're projections. So to look at, you know, to look at pupil support for last year isn't gonna be consistent with what pupil support is right now. And yeah, it's a drop, but each one of these, like, where the expenditures are listed, which is what we call function code. So function code 2.1, it includes everything from salaries all the way down to dues and fees. So there would be, if there's any one-time funding in there, you know, I strip all that down when I do a proposed budget. I just look at what our fixed costs are gonna be, what our, you know, what legacy costs are in there, staffing costs. Again, you know, the retirement rates have kind of been pretty fluid these past few years. Especially this year, it dropped like 3%, which is a huge number, you know, when you're looking at how much you're paying for retirement. The UAL was higher last year than it is this year. It's going back up next year. So, I mean, all those things play a factor into each one of these expenditures.
Yeah, so my main concern is we weren't getting
Rid of staff.
rid of staff.
Correct. So, we're not getting rid of staff.
Pupil support.
All right, does anybody have any more questions for Tiff? All right, thank you so much, Tiffany. That takes us to our superintendent's report.
Shout out, it's Friday night was graduation. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of our graduating seniors and all administration and staff who helped make prom and commencements an unforgettable experience. Congratulations to the best of luck to our class of 2025 graduates. Big congratulations goes out to our former Albert High School Jags, Jacob Myers and Max Cronkite on successfully meeting their goals with the Wyandotte Transition Program and becoming ready to enter the world of work. The Elementary Honors Choir did an incredible job on their Animal Extravaganza concert, making everyone proud, especially Ms. Murphy. Congratulations to Ms. Singleton and the Allen Park players on winning the Educational Theater Association TIOS Outstanding Impact Award. Congratulations to all spring athletes, and thank you to Mr. Victor for giving us his season wrap-up this evening. And upcoming events, Wednesday's last day of school for students. I wish all staff and students a safe and enjoyable summer. We'll see you back in the fall.
Thank you so much. Now it's time for citizens' comments. We do have one. As always, we'd like to please limit your comments to 3 minutes. There will be a timer for your convenience. The purpose of the public participation portion of this meeting is to provide an opportunity for citizens to share their thoughts with the board. Personal concerns are best handled through the proper channels. Questions requiring investigation will be referred to the superintendent for consideration. Right now we have one, which is Christy. Come on up. I see you back there. Where'd she go?
No, she's not here. She left.
She loves.
So we'll respond right.
Christy's not behind?
no. That's Kendra.
There's no one behind next to you?
No, and then Katie Jensen. You can't. There's nobody else there. And then Corinne is right here.
Oh, I see Katie. Okay, all right. Corinne, I did not see you until you went to the side. Okay, I'm so sorry. There is no citizens' comments because nobody is here to make them. Do we have any more? No. Okay, sorry about that. I am so sorry. I swear someone's behind Kendra. I clearly need to go to bed. All right, so that takes us to our reports of officers. We'll start on this time, this side this time. Mr. Bell.
Up in the air.
Mr. Martin.
Nothing, congrats to all the, nothing.
I do that too.
Retirees and new hires.
I do that too. Ms. Lukey. Mrs. Flippia?
Nothing, thanks.
Mr. Fine? I also have nothing. Thank you guys so much. We will, can I get a motion to adjourn? rental department?
So moved.
Perfect. No, I don't need it for this one either. All right, well, good. It's been motioned, so we're good. But we're gonna adjourn at 8:51.